into the conversation. It all stems back to how women are viewed by men. You notice how when a man is introduced, he's introduced as a whole human being without relation, usually, to other women. When a woman is introduced in some social event, she either leads with, "This is my name," and her last name is, the majority of women, it's their married name. They always lead with, "This is my name. I'm so-and-so's wife." Women are never, especially in fundamentalist churches, they're never viewed without a man in the picture. Even if there is a man. I mean, you don't have to mention you're somebody's wife unless they're standing there. I mean, you can introduce yourself as, "Hi, I'm June." You don't have to admit you've been married, how many kids you have, where you live, and your job. You don't have to admit or talk about those things. It's kind of like the Bechdel test. Very few social interactions would pass the Bechdel test. The test that says that if women are alone or in a group, if they can have 3 instances of conversation where a man, a relationship, or drama not associated with what they're sexually or romantically attracted to, they pass the test. What's really terrifying is there's not a lot of shows and movies that pass the Bechdel test compared to how many movies and shows exist. And, I mean, what kind of effed up society are we when it takes a man's name to get a man from squeezing the elbow of a woman who's trying to get away? I mean, like, are you messed up in your head that you as a man think that you can keep asking someone a question? I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking, like, "Will you go out?" No. You can then say, if I see you again, would you mind if I ask you out again? And if they say no, and then you could clarify, "So you don't want me to ask you out ever?" And if she says no, then leave. There's nothing wrong with that. I really wouldn't ask more than 2 questions if she's angry or tells you to leave. Okay? Women say no all the time and doesn't give any inclination that she will say no next time. Now, women, some of the time, definitely give you the body language and words that say, "Leave me alone and never contact me again." Just read the room. It amazes me how few people I have met in my life can successfully read a room. It's like, are men blind or something? And my teacher taught me, men aren't blind. They just don't respect women. Because if they respected women the way they respect their male peers, all he has to do, and honestly, if you can tell by a woman's language and, body language, poise, and how she looks at you, if you should even ask at all. But if there are no inclinations by reading the room that she doesn't like you, and you ask, "Would you like to go out or want to get out of here?" and she says no, if he viewed her like he does the male peers he respects, he would say, "You know what? That's okay. If I see you again, maybe I'll ask you, unless you right now say that's not something you want." And then he'd leave and wish her a good night. But because men don't do that, men are the worst enemies. They really are. And it's not all guys. It's not. There are some decent guys out there. They've never asked me out, but there's just something about 10 o'clock at night. I have never seen the things before 10 o'clock like I've seen after 10. For a year and a half, I've been an Uber driver and Lyft driver. The things I would experience at 10 o'clock or after would be an interesting book to write. Except for one time, it never happened before 10. There's just something, maybe 10 p.m. is the witching hour or something, but the things that would be said to me, the things that just went on, there's something about 10 p.m. and later. There's a drop in respect between men and how they interact with women. And I always say, if you can't say it in front of an adult woman, keep your mouth shut. Because if a woman was sitting right next to you, would you say it? No. Usually, no. The stuff Trump says around his male friends, he probably would say it to a woman, but that's because he's a pig. Normal men, good, bad, or whatever, would never say these things to a woman because they know that they would get in trouble. Why do men think it's acceptable to say these things out loud to someone who isn't a man? Because men protect men. They don't protect women. I had someone in LA threaten to kill me at a gas pump because he created his own line. I was next in line and he wasn't supposed to be there. I mean, the line is on the completely other side of the parking lot. But having a black Dodge sports car, I guess, made him feel like he was bigger than he really was. My opinion, his car was compensating for his lack of appearance, lack of respect, and lack of dignity. So he had to compensate with a flashy car. No man stepped up to say anything until the guy had left. Men don't protect women. They protect their own. It's why if you want to know if your significant other is cheating, don't ask their friends. They'll lie. The men just don't respect women. They never have. I don't think they ever will. And when I say that, I honestly hope 100% I'm wrong. Not much has changed in 10,000 plus years of recorded history. Men just don't have to respect women. So they worship marriage and idolize it. It's a trap. Marriage is a trap for the majority of women on this planet. Marriage is free labor, free sex, free childcare. Men love to have kids. They just don't like to take care of them. And the way churches talk up marriage. I mean, a sane person, when somebody they know or a stranger says, I'm getting engaged, why doesn't anyone ever say, why? If you already care about each other, have expressed that, why do you need a $20,000 ceremony with a piece of paper that isn't a good precursor to a happy, long-lasting relationship? You just caused the rate of divorce, the rate of separation, the rate of your relationship ending by 66%. 70% of divorces are initiated by women because men can't long-term consistently meet women's physical, emotional, intellectual, social needs. Men have not been, they haven't lived in an environment, a society that forces men to grow up, take accountability, mature emotionally. So when a woman says, I'm just not dating right now, you don't throw a tantrum or worse, shoot her. I'm not kidding. There are men out there that kill women for saying no thank you. Like, how little self-control, self-esteem do you have? Personally, based on my anatomy and kinesiology classes, I personally think that men like that have an underdeveloped frontal lobe. Impulse control problems. That's a problem. Don't take it personally when someone says, you know what, I'm just not attracted to you. And I'm not looking for someone. Just because someone's not attracted to you doesn't mean you're not Brad Pitt. But